Good morning, dear students. I hope you are doing well. This is Ms. Sharo. I'll be teaching you a career development module this semester. So in this semester, we are going to learn about what is career and what is career development in the human resource development perspective. So you as HRD students, you will learn how to know and how to work on career development ways and paths. So the objectives and the goals for studying this course is to differentiate career development among career, occupation, position, and job. So you will learn what are the differences between career development, career itself, occupation, position, job, and work. Also to distinguish between individual and organizational career perspectives. So you will learn what is individual career perspectives and what is organization career perspective. So the perspective of career, the point of view of career through the eye of individual, what is it, and through the eye of the organizations, what is it, and what are the differences between them, as well as to learn how career development program integrate individuals and organizational needs. So in this chapter, in this course, you will learn about career development programs and also how it integrates individuals and organizational needs together. Also, you will learn career system management within the general HRM framework. So let's start with career and job. First, let's know what is career. So there are many different definitions for career. Let's learn about some of them. So according to National Career Development Association, it defines career as what? As the time extended working out of a purposeful life pattern. Through what? Through work undertaken by a person. What does this supposed to mean? This means when you are saying, I have a career, or what is your career? Career means a time of working and doing something that you are purposing to do it. You have a goal to do it. So it's a time extended. It's a period of time. It's not a short time. It's a long time of working out something that you have a purpose to doing it and you have a goal for doing it in your life. So how you do this? Through work undertaken by a person, through you as a person, what you are doing. So what you are doing and what you are aiming to and what is your purpose in life, you will do it in a long term that it will become your career. So time extended, let's learn about each term by itself. Time extended, a career is not time limited or tied to one particular job or occupation. So you cannot say my career is for 1 year. No, it's not time limited or tied to a particular job, or for example, you will say my career now is I'm an employee in the X company. No, so career cannot be limited to time or a particular job. A career is a process that is lifelong in nature and it's affected by forces within and outside a person. So career is a lifelong, so it's for a life. So when you're saying my career is that thing, that means it's your career for a long period of time. So you have worked for it throughout your life in order to learn and go inside that particular career and stay with it for a long term. So you have long-term goals. So, and it will be affected by what? It will be affected by forces within you as a person and from outside you, which means your environment, your society, your surroundings. So this is all about time. Working out means career is the result of compromises and trade-offs between what a person might want and what is possible, between your imaginations and ideal thoughts and reality. So for example, maybe you want to work in an international company as an HR expert, as an HR, for example, senior recruiter. But the reality is something else. Maybe you don't still have the for example, a degree in HR, or maybe you don't have enough experience to earn that position. So you need to be realistic. Sometimes you aim to do something, you work for it, you try to learn about it, you try to study it, to achieve it, but maybe the reality around you is different. So working out means how this results between reality and your ideal goals. Then the term purposeful means that career has meaning and purpose for that person. If you want your career to be an HR expert, that means this career for you has a meaning and a purpose. That's why it's purposeful. It's not a temporary job. It's not a temporary position. It's a career. That means it's purposeful. A career doesn't just happen by accident or luck. It is planned, contemplated, worked on, and executed. So you plan for it. It's not something that happens suddenly or by luck or by accident. It's not a temporary job. It's not something that suddenly happens. No, it's something that you have worked for in your life or in your education, in your studies, or in your life experiences. So it has a meaning for you, and of course you have a goal to achieve it. So it's a planned and a worked on job or career, and it will be executed by you. Then we move to the term life pattern. Career is more than one's employment job. So it's not just a job, it's more than a job. So it's a bigger meaning, it has a bigger meaning, it's a wider meaning of just doing a job. It's a path for your professional life. Then work. What do we mean by work? Work is an activity that produces something of value for oneself or other. So when you say that I go to work, okay, because I have a work to do, I have a lot of work to do, I have work, meaning that you have an activity, you need to do something, you need to get done a task, you need to perform something. It might be in your professional life, it might be in your personal life or in social life. So a work is an activity that procedures something of value for you or for others. And undertaken by the person, meaning that every career is unique to the person. For example, if you bring 10 teachers, each, maybe all of them, their career is teaching, and they are teachers, but for each of them, teaching is a unique path. It has a unique path. So for each teacher, their career path is different. So each one has its own unique career. So we have too many definitions of career, as we mentioned, but there are many writers and scientists who contributed in the career concept. So let's discuss them one by one. First, we have Parsons. In 1909, he defined career as what? In the wise choice of a vocation, there are three broad factors. Okay, so what are those three factors of vocation or for a career? The first one is a clear understanding of yourself. First, you need to understand yourself in order to know which career to choose. Then you need to know and understand your aptitudes, your abilities, your interests, your ambitions, your resources, limitations, and their causes, meaning that you need to learn about your abilities, you need to learn about your level of education, you need to know it and be realistic about it. You need to know what are your interests and ambitions, what are your wishes, what do you like, what you don't like, what you want to achieve, what you want to reach, and what are the resources that are available for you. What can you do? What are your limitations? So when you learn about yourself in all different aspects, it will be easier and more clear for you to understand which career is most suitable for you to choose. Because choosing a career is not just a choice, but it's a way to look forward and see the future, yourself in the future, if you can be successful in it or not. Because if you couldn't be successful in a particular career, that cannot be your career for long term or for your life. So first you need to learn about yourself, then choose a career that suits you in order to be successful in it and stay with it for a long term of your life. Second point is knowledge of a requirement, conditions of success, advantages and disadvantages. So let's explain them one by one. A knowledge of requirements, meaning that what are the requirements of that particular career? Do you need to have a bachelor degree? Do you need to have a master degree? Okay, for example, university lecturers, they need to have minimum master degree. Or PhD. You cannot be a university lecturer if you are only having you only have a bachelor degree. So conditions of success. What are the conditions of success? What should you do in order to be successful? Advantages and disadvantages of that career. Maybe the advantages is maybe it's a well-paid career, but the disadvantages is it takes and consumes a lot of your personal time. So you need to learn about advantages and disadvantages of that career. For example, doctors, someone who decides to be a medical doctor or physician, that they work in a hospital, or nurses. The disadvantages of that job is they need to stay most of the time in hospitals, and maybe during holidays they need to work. So these are the disadvantages. So they need to first learn about themselves, as we mentioned in point 1, in order to know are they able to do it or perform it. Do they like it? Is it they're ambitious? Do they have enough resources? Then they will analyze the conditions of the success. Then they evaluate the advantages and disadvantages, a compensation of that career, the opportunities of that career, and prospects in different lines of work. Then the last point, true reasoning on the relations of these two groups of facts. So you need to make a reason between group 1 and group 2 and learn about those points and relate it to yourself in order to be able to clarify your thoughts and minds and choose what's the most suitable for you in reality. Then you can choose a suitable career for yourself. The second definition is by Super in 1980. It defines career as a sequence of positions held during the course of a lifetime. If you notice here, we mention again lifetime, meaning that career is for a long term. Some of them simultaneously, okay, some of them like they just come randomly or simultaneously, one after another. So an occupational career is the sequence of combination of occupational positions held during the course of a lifetime. So maybe someone chooses a career that came from the positions he held throughout his lifetime. So maybe someone was hired in a marketing department of a company, then after that he continued working in marketing department in several companies and several positions in the same department. So it became a career for his life. Another definition is by Arthur et al. Et al. Meaning that more than 2 and 3 authors with Arthur. In 1989, he defined career as the evolving sequence of a person's work experiences over time. So evolving sequences, meaning that chain of development of a person's work experience over time. So throughout time, that person worked, okay, continuously and received or gained experiences. So it's a sequence of evolving experiences for that particular person until it became a career for him. Again, we have another definition in 1996 by Arthur and Rosa, the unfolding sequence of any person's work experiences over time. So it's so similar for with the previous definition. It means the same thing, unfolding sequence of any person's work experience over time, meaning that over time that person worked and worked and worked in some particular occupation. So it became like a very good and long-term experience for that person, and all together it became a career for him. And another experience by Sullivan and Barch, as an individual, work-related and other relevant experiences, both inside and outside of organizations that form a unique pattern over the individual's lifespan. So it means what? It means what that person or what that individual do, meaning that as a job, as a work, what they do, and what are their experiences inside and outside of the organization or of that person. So all of them together, they create a unique pattern over time, and it becomes something for that individual's life for a long term, which is called career. So according to Susan Sears in 1982, in the Vocational Guidance Quarterly, she defined career development as the total constellation of psychological, sociological, educational, physical, economic, and chance factors that combine to shape one's career. So Susan defines career development as a total of combination of all the factors, which can be psychological, sociological, educational, physical, economic, all together, and the chances that that particular person had, they combine together and shape one's career, one person's career. So they create that person's career. So the overall process of career development can be defined as what? As an ongoing process. So it's a continuous process by which individuals progress through a series of stages. So it's not only one stage, it's a group of stages, a series of stages, a chain of stages, each of which is characterized by a relatively unique set of issues, themes, and tasks. So this definition is by Greenhouse in 2000. So they define career development as an ongoing process which the individuals learn throughout different stages of their lives and characterized by different or relatively unique set of issues, themes, and tasks. So altogether, these issues, themes, and tasks, altogether, they are becoming characterized of that person's ongoing process in professional life, which is called career development, meaning that career will be developed over time. So the process of learning and improving your skills so that you can do your job better and progress to better jobs, this is called career development. So we learned about career. We learned that career is a long-term path for an individual to choose their job, to choose their professional life. But what is the development of that career? It's the process of learning, of new things, or improving your skills that you can make your job better and progress to better jobs, which is called and which is means career development. Now let's learn about career versus job versus profession. So what is a job? A job position held by one or more person requiring some similar attributes in a specific organization. So a job position, you are saying this is my job. So it's a position that you hold in an organization. So it's different from a career. A career is for a long term. But what is your job? My job is exactly this thing. For example, a biologist at XYZ biotech company. So at XYZ biotech company, someone is a biologist. So what's their job? Their job is they're a biologist at XYZ biotech company. So this is a job. So what about occupation? Occupation is a group of similar positions found in a different industries or organization. So occupation is wider and bigger than a job. A job is what you're exactly doing in that particular organization. But occupation is a group of similar positions found in different industries. So such as what? Such as accountant. I am an accountant. So accountant is a position that can be found in different organizations, which is called an occupation. My occupation is an accountant, and it might exist in pharmaceutical industry, in any type of different industries. So let's move to the word position. What is the meaning of position? A group of tasks performed by one person in an organization. A unit of work with a recurring or continuous set of tasks. So my position here at this university is, for example, a coordinator, a receptionist, a PA, a lecturer, and so on. So a position is what exactly that organization is assigning you to do. What are your tasks? So it's a group of tasks performed by that person or by one person in an organization. So a unit of work with recurring or continuous set of tasks. A task is a unit of a job. A group of tasks together will be assigned to a person in a particular position. So each position is different from another. Each person has a group of tasks to perform in their position. So what is a task itself? A task is a unit of job behavior with the beginning point and an ending point performed in a matter of hours than days. So example, the XYZ company decides it needs someone to improve the communication flow among employees, customers, and investors, okay? So what they do, the company writes a new position description for an information specialist and then seek to hire a person to do that job. So the job is what is information specialist, and that person will hold a position in a company, and their tasks is to what? To improve the communication flow among the employees, customers, and investors. So what about job versus work? Okay, as we see here in this photo, job is a regular activity that you do. It's an occupation, a profession. So you receive money for doing that activity. So a job is a regular activity that you do and you receive money. Job itself, as a word, is a regular noun. Examples: I love my job. It helps people become fluent in English. Okay, so maybe this person is an English tutor. So do you have a full-time job? So these are the examples of using the word or the term job. What about work? The word work is more general than job. Work refers to activities done to accomplish a goal. So work is can be a verb. I have work, I need to work, I go to work. Work can be done both inside an official job and outside. So maybe at home you have work. Okay, you have to clean the house. Work can be a verb and an uncountable noun. So work, it can be both verb and noun, and it's uncountable. That means you cannot count it. You cannot say 1 work, 2 work, 3 work. No, it's uncountable. So I work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. This is work. Or another example is I am very busy this week because I have so much work to do. So if you notice here, it says I have so much work to do. So that means work is wider than job. Job is more specified. Work can be in your professional life and in outside your professional life, but job meaning that what you do for a living. What about profession versus occupation? If we see here and read the definitions of each of them in order to know what is the difference between profession and occupation. Profession requires a degree or completed study at a university or other institution. That means you have to have a degree from an institution or an university of higher education. It involves extensive training and special knowledge. So example of profession include accountant. You guys as HR students, your profession will be an HR, architect, doctor, engineer, lawyer, teacher. So you need a degree to work in these areas. This is a profession. So you need to have a degree from higher education in order to have a profession. What about occupation? An occupation is the job you are paid to do. It's the way you earn living. So occupation is the job that you are paid to do, and it's the way you earn. So you can say my occupation is that thing. Think of it as the activity that occupies your time. So occupation came from the word occupy, meaning it takes your time, it consumes your time. So, and from which you receive money for doing it. So occupation is a job that you do and you get paid for that. Tasks and duties that you are doing. What about the comparison between them? For example, we say, I studied teaching at university and I am a teacher now. My profession and my occupation are the same. But another example is, I studied teaching at university, but I am an actor right now. My profession is a teacher, though my occupation or my job right now is an actor. So, meaning that your profession is what you have studied and your occupation is what you are doing now as a job to earn living. Now we move to career perspectives, individual versus organizational. So, many observers have viewed career management as a process by which individuals develop, implement, and monitor career goals and strategies. Okay? The focus of career development has shifted radically from the individual to the organization. So not only individuals want to develop their careers, but organizations want to develop careers for their employees. So the psychological contract between employers and workers has changed. In previous decades, employees exchanged loyalty for job security. Okay, so employees worked in order to secure a job and they get paid. But today, employees, instead of exchanging performance for the sort of training and learning and development that will allow them to remain remarkable. So before, employees worked to get paid, to secure a job, but now employees are more aware about the development of the world, so they don't work only to secure a job and to earn some money, maybe, or a salary. No, but they want to enhance themselves, they want to develop their skills, improve their skills, learn new skills as well. They want to participate in trainings, in workshops, they want to learn more and more in order to what? In order to stay remarkable and stay in that competitive market of employees. So here we see the traditional versus career development focus. So what are the differences between the traditional focus and the career development focus? Let's make a comparison based on HR activities. First, we start with human resource planning. So traditional focus was to analyze job, skill, tasks, and present and in the future, what the project needs, and they used statistical data. But in career development focus, human resource planning adds information about individuals as well, their interests, their preferences, and what they like to do, what they don't like to do, what they are able to do, what they are not able to do, what are the areas for improvement, and the like to data. So workers profiling. About training and development, in the traditional focus, they provide opportunities for learning skills, information, and attitude related to job. But in career development focus, training and development provide career path information. So they don't only provide trainings, they provide career path information. So they add individual growth orientation. All about performance appraisal, which is also an HR activity. In traditional focus, they rate and reward. For example, this employee 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is their performance, they reward or punish that employee. But in career development focus, it adds development plans and individual goal setting. So when they evaluate a performance of an employee, they also add development plans for that employee, and they add goal settings for that individual. So it's not only rating them and rewarding or punishing them, no, it's creating development plan for them, it's setting goals for them, helping them to learn about themselves more and improve their career development. About recruiting and placement, in the traditional focus, matching organizations' needs with qualified individuals, but in career development focus, match individual and jobs based on what? Based on a number of variables, including employees' career interests. So in the traditional focus, they looked at the organization needs and hired individuals in particular position based on the organization need. But in the career development focus, it's not only finding qualified individuals for particular jobs or positions, but they discuss with employees and they want to learn about employees' career interests in order to put employees in the positions and departments that they are interested in and they can perform better in it. Regarding compensation and benefit, traditional focus rewards for time, productivity, talent, and so on. Okay, but in career development focus, adds non-job related activities to be rewarded, such as United Way leadership positions. So it's not only doing your job, but extra activities that help employees to develop their career, and they reward them for improving themselves. So here we talk about HR roles in career development. What is the role of HR in career development? Of course, HR has a very crucial and important in career development. We can say they are the starting point in developing employees' careers among all organization departments. So it starts with HR. The goal match individual, first we start with the orange box on the top right, on the top left. The goal match individual and organization needs, meaning that the goal should match what? Encourage employees' ownership of career, create a supportive direction of company, and establish mutual goal setting and planning. So they should establish goals that are mutual for both individuals and the company as well. Then they plan for achieving those goals. Then they create a supportive direction of that company. What are the directions for those plans and those goals to be achieved? Then they encourage employees to own their careers, to love their careers, and to improve their and develop their careers and skills. Then they identify career opportunities and requirements. So what are the career opportunities for each employee, and what are the requirements in order to make some particular job a career? So they identify future competency, what are the benefits of this career in the future, what are the good points of this career in the future. Then when you once learn about the future competencies of that career and opportunities, then you establish a job, you establish, so because career, there should be a job in order to make it a career. Then balance promotion, transfer, exits, and so on, and establish dual career path. Establishing dual career path meaning it should be a career for both employees and the organization. Then gauge employee potential, meaning that measure competencies, appraisal, meaning that evaluate the employees and establish talent inventories, establish succession plans, use assessment centers. So you will start give trainings and workshop to your employees. You will start to implement the new skills in practical. Then you listen to them, you learn about their different talents, and you make plans with your employees all together. Then you use assessment for those suggested plans and paths. Then institute career development initiatives. Career development initiatives, such as providing workbooks and workshops, provide career counseling, provide career self-management training, give developmental feedback, and provide mentoring. So once you provide these consultations, trainings, workshop, mentorship, and feedback, then you start the cycle once again. So throughout this, you will provide development in the careers for your employees, so they will be developed and they will perform better for your organization. So it's there's a mutual benefit. So it can be it's beneficial for both individuals and organization. So balancing individual and organization needs. Here we need to balance the needs between the individuals and organization because both of them, they have needs. Both of them, they seek success. So let's see how to balance this. Organization needs, there are two types of organization needs, which are strategic for long-term and operational for daily. Strategic needs are current competencies, future competencies, market change, mergers, joint ventures, innovation, growth, downsizing, and restructuring. These are the big change and long-term change that an organization might need to do, and they need to be aware always. What are the operational needs? They are such as employee turnover, which happens more frequently than the strategic needs, absenteeism, talent pool, outsourcing, and productivity. So what about individual needs? There are personal and professional needs. So personal needs such as the age of that individual defines the different needs, family concerns, spouse employment, mobility, outside interests. So each individual has different needs. What about the professional need? Career stage, in which stage that individual is, because according to different stage in the career, the needs might be different from an employee to another. Education and training, who needs it? Who doesn't need it? Who needs to start from level 1? Who is in an advanced level, okay? So promotion aspirations, how to motivate your employees throughout promotion, performance, potential, and career path. So these needs need to be identified, then evaluated, then balanced between the individual needs and organizational needs. They need to match each other, they need to complete each other, there should be mutual benefit and agreement between both sides in order to manage the career for both the individual and the organization. The HRD and career development professionals' responsibilities. So what are the responsibility of human resource development departments and career development professionals? To ensure that organization has programs and activities. So in the department of HR, the human resource development has a responsibility which is career development of their staff, of their professionals, of their employees. Why they have this responsibility? To ensure what? To ensure that the organization has programs and activities that will help the organization and its employees to achieve their goals. So we want both organization and employees to achieve their goals. Also, this role involves all of the foundational activities that needs to be implemented, that needs to be started with, then the needs assessment for both organization and individual, then design how to do these activities, how to start the training programs, how to start the job, how to design the job, how to implement it, and evaluate it. So this is the stage and principles of HRD. Then we move to some data by Date Hall 1996. They suggest the following points. To develop careers. They says that start with the recognition that each individual owns his or her career. So they need to recognize what is his career or her career. The second point is to create information and support for the individual's own efforts and development. So they need to have information in order to support their efforts and development. The third step is recognize that career development is a relational process, okay? So in which the career practitioner plays a broker role. So it's a process, it's not a task. So the individual needs to be aware. Number 4 is become an expert on career information and assessment technologies. Of course, you need to learn about career information and assessment technologies and become an expert in it. Then become a professional communicator about your services and the new career contract. So you need to become a professional in what you are doing and what are your services and the new career contract. After that, you promote work planning that benefit the organization as a whole. over career planning that is unrelated to organizational goals and future directions. Meaning that you need to promote a work planning to establish a plan for the work that benefits both organization and the career of that employee in order to achieve organizational goals and future directions of that organization. Then the seventh step is promote learning through relationship at work. Of course, you learn from others. So you need to promote learning through relationships at work. This is called experience. 8 is being an organizational interventionist, that is someone willing and able to intervene where there are roadblocks to successful career management. Meaning that how someone will intervene with the organization's management, how staff can be a part of the decision making of the planning process in order to ensure success for both themselves and the organization. Then promote mobility and the idea of the lifelong learner identity, and develop the mindset of using natural resources for development. HRD professionals must examine the employment practices by their own organization and determine the extent to which these practices promote or work against the kinds of career management behavior they want employees to engage in. So you guys in the future, you will become HRD professionals. So you must examine employment practices in your organization and determine that how these practices, what they are doing, they promote the work or they work against the kind of career management behavior. So you as HRs, you need to learn about your employees, how they work, how they practice their job, what are their skills, how they can be developed, how to teach them new skills, how to develop their careers for both themselves and for the organization's benefit. So why career development? Why this is important? This results is improved match between people and their work, which manifests itself in improving utilization of education and training resources. Higher level of worker satisfaction, preferred patterns of employment stability and mobility. So these are all the benefits of career development. So it's a utilization of education and training resources together. Then through career development, we achieve higher level of workers' satisfaction, then a preferred pattern of employment stability and mobility, then an increased income and benefits as well, and many attendant benefits to families and communities. So there are a lot of benefits of career development. So another point is extensive body of evidence regarding the educational, social, and economic value of career information and services that foster informed and considered career decisions. So the educational factors, social and economic value, all of them together, along with the career information and services, they inform a career decision for a particular individual. There's the data about Americans. It says that 17% of Americans change jobs each year, which means 20 million job changers. And 10% of the workforce need career planning, which means 40 million people need career planning, meaning that they don't have it. So without effective career development, what will happen? Too few students see personal relevance in their studies. So if we didn't teach the students what is career, which career to choose, how to develop their careers, we might receive these data that is mentioned here. First, we start with the high school students. 28% of 12th grade high school students believe that their school work is meaningful. So only 28% of them believe that school is meaningful. 21% believe their coursework is interesting. So the rest, they think it's not interesting. Of course, these data are from America. 39% believe that schoolwork will have any bearing on their success in later life. So the rest, they don't think school will be part of their success in the future. In the largest 32 urban districts in America, only 50% of students who enroll in high school actually graduated. The rest didn't graduate. And California has a 37% dropout rate from public school. So these numbers are pretty dangerous, and they tell us that students are not aware what to do in their future, what is career, how to choose a career, or learn to choose a career for themselves in the future. So most career decision making is unintentional and uninformed. 10% of high school students say they have never received meaningful career guidance in school, and more than 65% of 11th and 12th grades never had one-on-one meeting with their school counselor to discuss post-secondary and career opportunities. So most of them, like out of 100, meaning that more than 65 students, which is a third out of fourth, they never had, or they never received a post-secondary career opportunities or a discussion about it. 78% of students credit their parents as the top adult influence regarding career planning. So they only listen to their parents and they didn't receive such guidance from another source or from another place. And 65% of working adults do not believe they are in the right job. So, which is also a high number of adults that they don't think they are in the right job. So with effective career development, research shows the following outcomes. Regarding education, the outcomes are improved educational achievements. So meaning that with effective career development, we achieved an improved education, improved preparation and participation in post-secondary education, better articulation among levels of education and between education and work. So if you seek to develop careers, you need to start from schools. And also shorter time to graduation and lower dropout rates. So if you teach students what is career, how to choose their career, how to develop their career, the outcome is these points that we mentioned, including lower dropout rates and higher graduation and retention rates, which is a good outcome. And the social benefits of career development is it benefits family, peers and community, higher level of worker satisfaction and career retention, meaning that the workers are more satisfied and they stay more in their jobs. Shorter path to primary labor market for young workers, so it's easier for young workers to find a job. And lower incident of work-related stress and depression, meaning that they are more happy with their jobs, and reduced likelihood of workplace violence. Of course, if you choose the right job that suits you, you will choose the right place to work at, and the likelihood of workplace violence has been reduced. Also, there are economic consequences. With effective career development, there will be higher incomes and increased tax revenues, lower rates and shorter periods of unemployment because people will be happy with their jobs, lower costs of workers' turnover. They will not leave their job too soon or change jobs, or like they jump from a job to another, so the turnover will be less. Lower healthcare costs, since people are happy, their mental health will be better. Lower imprisonment and criminal justice costs. So as long as people can find the suitable jobs, they stay in their job, they get paid, and they're satisfied with their payments, crime will reduce and improve, and the cost on the government regarding imprisonment and criminal justice will be less. And increased worker productivity as well. Of course, workers will be more productive. So I will leave you with these 3 questions. Kindly prepare it for the next session. It's an exercise. I will ask you these 3 questions and please answer me on the, prepare your answers for the next session. What is positive and negative practices applied by managers to retain people? Have you encountered in the past? Okay. For you who has a job, answer with the real experiences that you had. And for you who never worked, write your expectations. And write down at least one example of a positive and one example of a negative approach. And also compare the approach with figure 1 taken from the Dilbert zone, which depicts a cynical approach of retaining people. And thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the class.